So when it comes to foldable devices, these are probably the best foldable smartphones on the market right now. We have the Honor Magic V5, which is now in the UK and globally, and also the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 on the right here, which both look amazing. And they have their bonuses in terms of the pluses and the negatives as well. They're very thin, just round about the same. But which one would you go for? Let's run through some of the specs and then compare some areas. First up, let's talk about the design. As you can see there, the camera arrays are very different, but they're very similar in terms of the size differences. In fact, when you have it unfolded, they both are about 4.2 millimeters thick, so they're very thin. And then when you fold it up, one is, the Z Fold 7 is 8.9 millimeters thick. And then depending on which color you go for on the Honor Magic V5, you can get up to 9 millimeters thick. So they're very, very similar in that area. When it comes to the weight as well, it depends on which color you go for. The Z Fold 7 is only 215 grams. And then the lowest you get on the Honor Magic V5 is 217. Or if you get this color here, for example, it'll be 222 grams, which makes it just a tad bit more weighty in hand when you're going to be using it on day-to-day basis. When it comes to durability as well, they both use their own individual glass system. So for example, the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 uses a Corning Gorilla Glass Victor Ceramic 2 when it's folded. And then on the other side, unfolded, we have plastic on there. And then on the back in this area, we're talking Corning Gorilla Glass Victus 2. For the Honor Magic V5, on the external screen, they have Honor Anti-Scratch Nano Crystal Shield. And then on the inner side, as you can see there, we have Honor Super Armored inner screen. But I think regardless of which one you go for, I think they've proven to be very, very durable for me on both the screen on the outside, the screen on the inside, although I've had more scratches on the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7, but I have put that through just a tad bit more rigorous test, so that's probably why that's scratched up a bit more. For that display, they both have LTPO technology and have 120 Hz refresh, which is good. The Z Fold 7 will give you 2600 nits of peak brightness, whereas the Honor Magic V5 will give you up to 5000 nits of peak brightness. The Z Fold 7 on that outer display gives you 422 ppi, whereas the V5 gives you 404 ppi, so that's something else to bear in mind. For processor power, they both have Snapdragon 8 Elite, which is 3 nanometers, but the Samsung Galaxy Z Fold 7 gives you that tuned or made for Galaxy Samsung Snapdragon processor in there, which just makes it just a tad bit more powerful when it comes to that Geekbench score. When it comes to the storage availability, they're both very similar. You can get up to 1 terabyte depending on where you buy them from, but you can get up to 1 terabyte of internal storage. For the RAM, they're both 16 gigabytes of RAM, which is good. But as far as I know as well, the Z Fold 7 is UFS 4.0. I'm still yet to know what the V5 is, which I'm waiting to find out from Honor. For the camera, the Z Fold 7 has 10 megapixel cover cameras, and the V5 has 20 megapixels. So the V5 is already winning in that area, which means you get more details when it comes to using that camera. But the bonus on this is they are foldable, which means you can actually use the main cameras on the back to take selfie shots as well if you really want good details. But for the main camera, the Z Fold 7 has a 200 megapixel f1.7 main camera, which is really good. You have a 10 megapixel telephoto lens and a 12 megapixel ultra wide angle camera in there. And then when we look at the V5, we're talking 50 megapixel main camera, 64 megapixel telephoto periscope, and 50 megapixel ultra wide angle camera. So as you can see there, in some areas, the camera is much better on the V5, but you do get that 200 megapixel capability on the Z Fold 7. In the real world, the photos are very, very on par together in terms of the quality. So you're talking low light capability is very similar. Shots that you get on ultra wide and main camera is very similar as well, where I think the V5 outdoes or outshines the Z Fold 7 is when it comes to the zoom capability. You get better quality images when you zoom in on this versus the Z Fold 7. But that aside though, I think they're both very, very similar. But I put shots on the screen side by side so you guys can also decide for yourself which one you prefer. One thing that the Honor Magic V5 also does really well is the battery size. You're talking 5,820 mAh battery versus the Z Fold 7, which only has 4,400 mAh battery. So the battery lasts longer on the V5. You also get faster charge on this. You're talking 60 watts on the V5 and also faster wireless charging as well compared to the Z Fold 7. The Z Fold 7 has 25 watts wired charging, 15 watt wireless and 4.5 watt reverse wireless. And then when we talk about the V5, we're talking 65 watts charge, wired, and then 50 watt wireless and 5 watt reverse wired. So you don't get wireless reverse on the Honor Magic V5, but at that speed anyway, I don't see the point. Maybe you can charge your earbuds with it, maybe. Apart from that, bit pointless. So that's pretty much it for the Honor Magic V5 versus the Z Fold 7. I think for me, if I was to pick one of these, it's going to be very tough. It's very, very difficult. But if I was to use my logical brain, I'll go for the V5. But if I was to go for style, something that is just sleeker, in my opinion, it's going to be the Z Fold 7. The battery life is not that good on the Z Fold 7 when compared to the V5, and that's a bonus already. And then we come to the camera capabilities. I think some of the camera functions on here are much better. You have loads of AI features on both, so they're very much on par in so many areas as well. You don't get that deepfake functionality alert thing on the Z Fold 7, unfortunately, but you still get loads of good AI features, including Google Gemini that's baked into both of them. But I think over to you, though, just a quick rundown of the differences and which one I reckon could be better. But what do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one.